almost 18 minutes past the hour. Time now for the Showbiz Showdown. Cleaning up DVDs. There is a new so-called filtering technology that removes sexy or violent scenes from DVDs, and President Bush just signed a law making it legal. A company called ClearPlay sells special DVD players that clean up movies. For example, the filter for The Godfather is pre-programmed to recognize the nude scenes, violence, and rough language in that movie. The technology does not change the DVD itself, however, but it does have some filmmakers hopping mad. They say it infringes on their copyrights and their art. Joining us live from Los Angeles is Bill Aho, CEO of ClearPlay, and also in LA is Marshall Herskovitz, producer of TV shows like 30-something, My So-Called Life, Once and Again, movies like Traffic, and The Last Samurai. So, Marshall, you are adamant about this, and you were recently quoted saying that it is easy to see a time when you could go into a store and say, well, I'd like to have movies with no Jews in them, and let's take movies with no black people. There's this whole range of things you could take out of your movies based on personal preference. That's pretty extreme. Do you really think it could go there?
I think it could go there and even further, as a matter of fact. What we're doing is legitimizing people customizing content that's copyrighted by artists. And that's been disallowed for hundreds of years, and also by the First Amendment of our Constitution.
Bill, what do you say on this? Obviously, well, you're in favor of it.
Well, I think that's alarmist rhetoric, but I really think it's a dangerous argument. The notion that if you have a personal freedom to watch what you want in your home, then it really doesn't matter what your ideology is. And this idea that because these freedoms could result in people doing things that we don't like, well, that's a dangerous way of thinking. I don't like a lot of the movies that Hollywood makes. I don't like the glorification of violence. I don't like the glamorizing of teen sex. But never in my wildest dreams would I imagine that because I don't like the messages that I would prohibit their right to make the movies they want.
Well, Bill, we're not talking about what people do in their homes. We're talking about the commercial distribution of changed content, which is what your company does. What people do in their own homes is their own business. If they want to edit their films for their own personal use, that's fine.
You know, I've heard that before, and I really don't buy it. I mean, what ClearPlay does is allow you in your home to watch a movie the way you want. Now, I've heard Hollywood say, hey, it's okay to do this with a remote control in your home, but using a tool or a technology that makes it easier for you, like ClearPlay, well, we're not going to allow you to do that.
Well, Bill, why
how magnanimous?
Why wouldn't you just, Bill, not watch those movies? I mean, do you really have to watch the movies with that content with your children?
No, we don't have to do anything. The beauty is that it gives people another choice. Certainly, you can choose to only watch certain kind of movies, but I think it's just a little bit disingenuous that Hollywood, on the one hand, is making PG-13 movies that are more and more violence, more and more sex, more and more language, spending up to $50 million a movie, marketing them to kids, and then sitting back rather smugly and saying, parents, just say no.
No, there is no smugness here. I'm sorry. What there is a First Amendment that allows artists, whether they be writers or filmmakers, to decide what the content of their films is going to be. And if you change this in your offices in Utah, we're not talking about what happens in people's homes. You are putting the changes to these programs on a hard drive and sending them to people's homes. That is what you're doing, and you're doing it as a commercial distribution, and that is clearly copyright infringement.
And Marshall, why does this upset you more than what, let's say, an airline does when they edit a film?
Well, what happens on an airline is that people are exposed to material that they have no choice about. It's on a screen in front of them, and if it's objectionable to them, they have no choice. People have rights in a situation like that. But when you're talking about a book or a DVD that you have to buy or rent and bring into your home, then the rights of the author prevail. That's what's been established for hundreds of years.
All right, well, gentlemen,
what about
I'm sorry.
Television?
We've got to end this now. I know, I'm telling you, I can tell. This is going to go on, and I would not be surprised if we revisit. All right, okay, Marshall. Well, thanks for joining us, Marshall and Bill. And again, you know, I'm sure we'll have you guys back. This is a hot subject, AJ.